So maybe just for the new group that's come, I could just introduce you guys. This is Sarah, Ingrid and Kevin, and they are the community ambassadors for the Markscape project, and they actually themselves did sort of all of the mapping work in the neighbourhood, going out and talking to people and getting them to fill in maps, etc. And that's kind of what led to this map. So I think maybe, are you alright to see you again?
Yeah.
So I'll pass you to Sarah. She can kind of tell you what they did, and then also to have a bit of time to ask questions, particularly about their experience in terms of talking to people in their neighbourhoods about the mapping.
So this was a map that we took out to the community. There was myself, Kevin, Ingrid and one other lady who live on the estate. So they kind of took it around to friends and family members, and I work in a community centre, so I was able to get quite a good sort of through traffic of people who were using the library and the adult college and the centre, and we're just kind of asking them their opinions of Markscape. We asked them for their perceptions of the area, particularly around antisocial behaviour and environmental crime and things like that, what they thought of the community facilities that were there, and whether they'd had any specific incidents that they could kind of pinpoint to us. So rather than just perceptions of this area's awful for antisocial behaviour, they could say, do you know what, on this day, this happened to me, and they could give us some details of the antisocial behaviour that's taking place. As you can see, we kind of, after we got all the comments in, Colleen kindly kind of put them into categories and put them on the map for us to kind of show us the hotspot areas around the estate, what's happening. And it's youth and antisocial behaviour, litter, rubbish and graffiti, safety, a lot of community safety issues came up, and facility improvements. But the yellow ones were kind of positive comments, and we hadn't asked for them initially, so it was quite nice that we got quite a lot of positive comments as well. People say, this is terrible, but I really love the library, or I really love the Padnell Lake down here. Just to give you a bit of an idea. This is the hub of the estate. This is where all the shops are. We've got a community centre here that's got a library and an adult college, and these are the schools. This is a park, like an open green space, and this down here is a lake called Padnell Lake. So after we'd got all these comments in, and they'd been put into these categories for us, we kind of got together as a little group and thought, what should we do? We're going to draw up a bit of an action plan of the key issues, and then we want to take it back to the community and say, what are you going to do about this, or what is already being done about this? And we're quite lucky that we've got a lot of really, really good community groups on the estate already who are really active, really involved, and really kind of good at taking things forward and lobbying and talking to the right people. So, for example, a lot of the issues around Padnell Lake, there's a Friends of Padnell Lake group, and one of the issues was the lake's dirty, it's not been cleaned, no one's taking responsibility for it or ownership of it, and there's a bit of a fight going on between, is it a park, is it owned by parks, is it housing land, is it owned by them, and no one wanted to clean it. So the Friends of Padnell Lake got housing and parks together at their meeting, and they got a schedule of works agreed, so now it's cleaned 4 times a year by parks, and it's been adopted into their budget, which is brilliant. Can't really ask for more. And then around that as well, the Friends of Padnell Lake organise community clean-up events. So they wait till the school holidays, invite all the kids down, we give them litter pickers and high-vis jackets, and it's brilliant. It's a real community event, and it gets people using the lake in a really positive way, and gets more people kind of passionate about it. And we say, when you are there and you do see a trolley in the lake or some graffiti, report it to this number. You know who to report it to. You don't have to wait till the next meeting or wait till someone else does it. You know who to go to. You can do that. Tansley Green, again, it's a really good facility. It's used by the teenagers. They haven't got a great deal of open space around there, and there's not a lot of youth activities, which is one of the key points where I say, when we asked a lot of the young people, they said, there's nothing for us to do. We've got Tansley Green, but there's no youth activities, there's no youth club, there's nothing. So that was where it was kind of a mixed bag. We've got positive comments from the young people who really like it and use it, and for the younger children there's a play park there, and the young families thought it was really good. But in the evenings, a bit later on, it's often antisocial behaviour, all the kids hang out there, it's dark, it's not very well lit, they can kind of throw stones at people's houses and live around it. So now we've tried to build a Friends of Tansley Green group, similar to the Friends of Padnell Lake, and it's more just so people know, you know that who you can contact if you do see something, the Parks Police, your Safer Neighbourhoods team number, and you feel confident enough to report it, and you feel confident that you're going to get a response from them as well, which I think is one of the main problems. around the community centre, one of the things they were saying, we really like it, we really like the library, but we wish it was open more. It's only open 2 days a week. That's rubbish. So I worked for the council, and we were kind of able to be that link between the community groups and the relevant council departments. And we said, look, all these people said we really love the library, we need it to be open more. And they were like, you know what, we'll look at some funding, and now we've got extended hours, it's open 3 more days a week, and they've doubled their issue figures, and they now use it for school children to come in on a Thursday afternoon. They have different groups from the junior school and the infant school coming in to use it. So that's a really kind of positive thing that's come out. And yes, we've kind of drawn up our action plan. We've got all these different points, and we've taken it back to these different community groups. Some are looking at environmental issues, some are looking at community safety and things like that, but they've kind of managed to take ownership of it, and we're just kind of supporting them by pointing them in the direction of the right officers. So.
And I think most of us who live on the estate are very proud of it.
All this positive activity has come out of the mapping process.
Yeah,
kind of.
I mean, a lot of the. I mean, half of it was kind of people saying, "This is terrible. This is awful," and it was an opportunity to say, "Did you know there's a group that you can come to and meet with these officers and speak to? Did you know this has already been addressed in this way, and you can help out by doing this?" So it's kind of, I mean, feedback even at the time of doing the maps was possible, because we could say, brilliant, this is a problem, why don't you ring this number and report it, why don't you kind of do this? And so it was a really good way of getting people to go, oh, do you know what, I could do that, I can take that on. So that was really, really good. They have, but again, we kind of took people's comments word for word, and the comments that we were getting were, it's the youth calling, so this is kind of the community talking. This isn't us who've kind of pigeonholed it into youth equals antisocial behaviour. We just didn't get comments about adult antisocial behaviour. Yeah, I mean, Marksgate is it's considered an intensive area within Barking and Dagenham because of its problem with, and again, it wasn't just kind of youth antisocial behaviour that came out of it. It was the fact that there are no facilities for young people and no activities for young people. So that kind of came out of it as well. It wasn't all negative. It was people saying, do you know what, they do cause a problem, but there's nothing for them to do. So it was kind of a bit of both. All the comments and all the different things, like I said, it's kind of word for word. We didn't want to kind of change what people had written to make it fit one of our categories. It was like, this is what they said, and kind of interpret it as you will. But those comments are available. So it wasn't that we were just asking people. We were asking people from all of the estate, but these are the hotspot areas, and it's been really useful actually. We've just got in answer to a bit of our kind of youth and antisocial behaviour problem. We're not getting an awful lot of support from the council at the moment because they're doing a restructuring. But we managed to get some street pastors coming in, and they found this map really useful. We were able to give them a copy of this map and say, this is the map of the estate where you're working, but these are the kind of hotspot areas, and they found that really useful to target these areas based on these findings as well. So it's been a really kind of useful tool for that as well. Yeah, I mean, we've got quite good links with our Safer Neighbourhoods team. But I think one of the problems that came out of this was a lack of confidence in the police. So, yeah, they get statistics from when people report incidents to them, but what we found from this is a lot of the time people aren't reporting these incidents to the police because they don't feel confident that they're going to get a response, and they don't feel confident with the police. So that's why it was quite an interesting thing. The police are saying, do you know what, we're not finding this problem, we're not seeing this antisocial behaviour issue here, and we're saying, but it exists. So we've been able to kind of pass that information on as well.